So this week we have the 2 tests to take home. The first will be the quiz number 3 for descriptive statistics for a numerical analysis. And the second will be the group assignment. This is the first group assignment. You can click on and you can see there the requirement of the first group. That will be whatever you see. Right here I post for the assignment instruction and also for the requirement of submission. That will be a group of 5, okay? And the last day for submission will be on the October 20. October 20, this means that on Wednesday of next week. The only reason that I want to do it, because this is the first group assignment. I want you guys to have more time to prepare for that. So today will be the 11th, and you got like almost like about 10 days, for this assignment. So just explore it and just take advantage on that, okay? Mọi người đã có nắm chắc rồi chưa? Tuần này chúng ta sẽ có first group assignment. Trong tổng số toàn bộ các môn của mình á, cái môn của mình thì mình sẽ có khoảng tầm 5 cái group assignment. Cùng với lại cái final project là coi như có 6 group assignment đó, coi như vậy. Thì đây sẽ là tuần đầu tiên nên thầy duy nhất tuần này thầy sẽ cho các bạn được 10 ngày để làm group assignment, là tới ngày 20 tháng 10. 20 tháng 10 thì chúng ta sẽ phải nộp nha. Rồi, như vậy thôi. Còn lại thì group assignment nội dung như thế nào thì chắc chắn rồi. Thầy nói lại thêm một câu nữa là năm ngoái đứa nào mà từng có cái ví dụ như mà nghĩ rằng là lấy được bài của lớp của năm ngoái để mà chép vô thì yên chí là không được nghe. Vì thật sự là đây về sau cũng như vậy thôi. Mỗi năm thầy sẽ điều chỉnh lại. Thứ nhất là về quiz, về bài thi, các bài quiz, bài test thầy sẽ điều chỉnh. Thứ hai là đối với lại các assignment cũng vậy, không phải năm nào giống năm nào. Thầy sẽ luôn có những cái điều chỉnh mới đối với lại những cái group assignment. Cho nên năm nay nếu như các bạn nghĩ rằng là đã có bài của năm ngoái hoặc là có anh chị đi trước họ chưa đưa bài cho bạn xem á thì bỏ hy vọng đó đi. Yeah. Thầy requirement khác. Ok, that will be the point. Rồi, chú ý trong tuần này chúng ta có first group assignment thôi. Chúng ta có the course, all the material and the quiz and the homework and also the chapter. So actually you guys with the group assignment, you will have to use the week 3 assignment data sets to just select one of them and do the analysis on one of the data sets inside of this folder. So just up to you for choosing like whatever you want. But that will be the point. That will be the point. And for this week, we also brought this on another highlight data set for the apartment rent of the data with the answer. So this one will be for this one you have to download and then we do the practice on this data set. When you download it, it will really look like this one, apartment rent data with answer. And I have posted this for a long time, really long time. So you have time to do it, whatever you want. But basically, you have all the highlight number over here, and they all have the highlight algorithm. But we will have to practice this by ourselves. So later, this will be the rental in dollar. Okay, I make it a little bit look better with times the Roman form and then bow this one. Okay, it looks much better now. Okay, let's get. So first of all, we go in and talk a little bit about the last class. Hôm bữa thầy có yêu cầu về cái chuyện là mấy đứa về nhà và các bạn xem bài liên quan tới cái video về relationship between two variables, scatter plot and trend line. Anyone have watched this yet? Mọi người, raise your hand. Just one. Anyone else? Một mình Trí thôi hả? Nobody else? Nobody? Really? Lớp bị lưỡi ta? Hey, really? Nobody else? Really watch for my video? Man, that disappointed me. Okay. Oh, that's a surprise. Okay, let's just go ahead and just do it for the first group assignment. Join this device, and I'm going to stop sharing for this screen and going to talk about the set screen. Okay. All right. Okay. This could be the hand grinding, and this could be this section. Hi, all. Okay. Yeah, you guys really disappointed me, man. Có phải đêm điểm danh lớp này không ta? Lớp này như vắng này. Thôi rồi, xíu nữa thầy điểm danh cả lớp luôn này. Để xem thì lớp này có đứa nào vắng không chứ đang có lớp có mấy đứa vậy ta. Okay, the first, the today section we talk about the descriptive statistic. Of the numerical measure. Okay. First of all, we have to talk about, first of all, this could be the relationship between two quantitative variables. Between two quantitative variable. So when we talk about the quantitative variable and their relationship, we're going to talk about the scatter plot and the trend line. For example, for this one, I will give you the example up there. The relationship between two quantitative variable, including the temperature. Okay, the temperature T0 and the cell of ice cream. Okay. Okay. This could be the data. So for example, in some day, the temperature will be 30 degrees Celsius. And we see like we can just sell it for like 3,000 ice cream. Okay. Think about like we are in the shop, like in the store, like the ice cream. Okay. And you guys will be here. Hey, come here and go to buy for the ice cream. Okay, something like that. And for the first day, first observation of the first day, okay, that should be 30 degrees and you can sell it like about 3,000. And another day, like 29 degrees, and you can sell it up to like around 2,700 ice cream. For another day, like really hot, like about 40 degrees, that's in the middle of the summer, right? And you can sell it up to like 5,000, I guess. Okay, 5,000. And like another day in the end of the summer, this could be like 32 degrees and you sell it like about 3,500 ice cream. Tell me first of all, what are we gonna do to just summarize this data? How we can summarize the data? Anybody know? How we can do it? Anybody? Guy? Okay, Jake.
So first of all, I think we can group of categorize the group of the temperature. For example, it would be like from maybe from 25 degrees of Celsius up to maybe 30, and then we will, yeah.
You will
group the
group the data.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be the point. So he talking about grouping the data into the different kinds of group, like about like for example 25 to 30, 30 into 35, something like that, right? The point could be like that we just work only for the one single quantitative variable. But now here, the thing would be like I really cares about the relationship between them. It's not just one single temperature. How can I do it? And if you already have just watched my video in the end of the section, so you will have to know that. Like, okay, one more time, three.
So đoạn này em xin phép nói tiếng Việt nha, nên cái phần mà em coi cũng khá là khó giải thích. Thì
Okay.
em nghĩ là em sẽ gán cái temperature là theo trục để coi gán như nào đâu, theo trục tung chẳng hạn. Xong rồi em gán x, xong rồi em gán cái ice cream là theo trục hoành. Đấy. Xong rồi em sẽ biểu thị ra đầu tiên là về để em xem thế nào. Gán như nào nhỉ?
Okay, whatever. So then.
So, cái ý tưởng sẽ là thầy sẽ biểu thị ra được một những cái dot ở lên trên cái biểu đồ, rồi mình sẽ biểu
Okay.
diễn ra được một cái trend line dựa trên những cái dot đó.
Okay. Now anyway, like that's good. At least like he was the point. Okay. 0.5 for you. Okay, Jay. And now
Dạ
I
em
will
cảm
explain his idea detailedly. So when we do like that, we can have the kind of like intersection of the kind of like two-dimension system like this one. For say like for the horizontal axis from our x, that should be temperature. For the other thing like what we call the vertical axis or OY, that should be I cream. And then we have the data point. So for example, this one, 29 degrees, and we can sell it like 2,700. This one could be 29 degrees, and this is, for example, 2,700 I cream. So this is the data point, okay? This could be the data point of this one, representing for they have this much, okay? 29 degree and 2,700 I cream cell. And another one would be like when we jump into 30 degrees. Another point would be 3,000. Okay. And this could be the point. And the same thing happen again and again, like what I do it all the time, like 32 degree and 3,500. That's maybe here. And this should be 440. This should be here, like with the 5,000 something. So I would say do the same time again and again. Just imagine when we have a lot, really a lot of data, and I would just remove for this kind of group. Okay, just to make sure that you can easily understand. All right, you see it like when we have a lot of data like that, why? You will see a relationship between the temperature and the ice cream. It looked like with the lower temperature, we have the lower ice cream, okay, over here. But with the higher temperature coming with the more ice cream sold, right? More ice cream sold on the store. So from this graph, what can you say? What can you say? I would normally say this could be a positive relationship between temperature and eye cream, right? That means basically the more the higher temperature, the higher temperature the more ice cream. So you got it? That should be what people normally call the positive relationship. That should be the positive relationship. Okay, and the same thing happened when we all the time talking about that. I would say a little bit space. We not just have the positive relationship, but normally we have the other types of relationship. What the people call the negative relationship. In this one, the example could be the time for gaming. Sorry if I use this one. Sorry, boy. But time for gaming, and this would be your GPA. That means your average grade point. Okay. And you see, like with the people who spend kind of like very few hours of playing game, like for week, they GPA may be quite high. Okay, for this point, you see it. Okay. For this point, okay, data point. And another one, he spent a little bit more time, his GPA a little bit lower, okay. And with those guys who really spend like about 20 hours or 40 hours for playing a week, this will be this low, about like 2.0, I guess, I don't know, maybe 1.1, I don't know, maybe 1.5 example. Okay, so the same thing happened. The same thing happened when I collect a lot of data, for example, like 100 students or more than like 200 students in VN UK, and I ask for the question. So I see a relationship like this way. Okay, if I try to generate for a line, that should be called a trend line. So it's sloped down. It's going down. Okay, it's going down. So this is what the people call the negative relationship. That means when one variable increase, the another variable will decrease. That will be the point. So this one, for example, more time for gaming. That could be go for lower GPA. Okay, that would be what the people call negative relationship. You got it? This one? You got this point? Student? Okay. And sometimes we even try to generate for the graph about the relationship between two variables. Like for example, the GPA. No, maybe sometime not. Like the sale or the revenues of the Lamborghini. Anyone know what is a Lamborghini mean? And the
Rain car.
Name of car.
advertisement on TV. And the people see like when they have all the data like this way. Can you see it increasing or it decreasing? No. Actually, with this one, normally we don't see any relationship between them. So what people call C here will be no relationship. It doesn't look obviously like this way. Not obviously like for the positive relationship or negative relationship, but they look like they fluctuate and we cannot see any relationship. The reason is like the people call we cannot, that mean increasing the numbers of ads on TV have no relationship to sell of car. là Lamborghini. You know why? Mọi người có hình dung ra được đây là thầy nói ngắn gọn lại đây này. Có 3 dạng dữ liệu, có 3 dạng relationship between the two quantitative variable. Thứ nhất là positive relationship. Khi biến này tăng lên, khi variable này tăng lên thì variable kia cũng tăng lên. Thể hiện ví dụ như mối quan hệ giữa nhiệt độ với lại là ice cream. Rất hợp lý đúng không? Trời càng nóng, mọi người càng thèm, lúc mà đi giữa nắng nôi thì ai cũng thèm ăn ice cream hết. Và nếu như bạn mở một cái ice cream ngay ở một cái trung tâm giải trí chẳng hạn, mọi người sau khi đi nắng về thì ai cũng muốn mua ice cream. Vì vậy nhiệt độ càng cao, người ta mua kem càng nhiều. Ngày thứ nhất, những ngày nhiệt độ thấp đi thì bán kem có thể là số lượng vừa. Những ngày nhiệt độ lạnh hơn xíu, mát hơn xíu thì có thể lượng kem sẽ bị sụt giảm. Nhưng trong những ngày mà nhiệt độ cực kỳ cao, lượng kem bán sẽ tăng một cách đột biến. Đó là quan hệ giữa nhiệt độ càng tăng thì số kem bán càng nhiều. Phương án thứ hai là mối quan hệ giữa GPA với lại là time of gaming. Đó là mối quan hệ giữa việc là số thời gian của một bạn nam chơi game, của những bạn nam chơi game so với lại cái điểm trung bình của họ. Thì rõ ràng ở đây mình nhìn thấy một negative relationship, hay người ta bình thường mà các bạn học ở những năm dưới gọi là mối quan hệ tỷ lệ nghịch. Thế thì mọi người nhìn thấy cái vấn đề sẽ là như sau. Thời gian mà họ càng chơi game càng nhiều thì điểm của họ càng ngày càng bị giảm xuống. Đây thể hiện rằng là mối quan hệ nghịch chiều, negative relationship. Sometimes they don't have the relationship, được chưa? Don't have relationship kiểu như sau khi mình test cái data ra mình thấy rằng là cho dù mình có increase hay mình có decrease cái number của cái advertisement, những cái quảng cáo trên TV, had no change in the sale of the Lamborghini, so no relationship, hay là they are totally just random. Cái nguyên nhân cơ bản thì có thể nhiều khi các bạn nghe về câu chuyện là ai cũng nói rằng là tăng doanh thu, rồi tăng chi phí về quản lý, tăng chi phí quảng cáo thì sẽ tăng doanh thu. Điều đó có đúng không mọi người? Đúng không?
Not really.
Not really, yeah. Especially when we talk about the Lamborghini. All the time we have the data. We cannot believe in just like intuition assessment. Mình không bao giờ được tin vào những cái ý tưởng mà người ta nói mà mình chấp nhận một cách vô cớ hết trơn á. Ví dụ như về chuyện sale có tăng được, bạn có tăng được cái quảng cáo thì có tăng được tiền bán hàng hay không? Chưa chắc. Ví dụ Lamborghini là một cái hiện tượng mà người ta không bao giờ, mọi người có từng nghe câu là Lamborghini không quảng cáo trên TV không? You know about that fact?
Dạ có.
Yeah. The reason is for the people call it potential, the purpose, tức là những cái khách hàng tiềm năng của Lamborghini thì họ không xem TV. TV là một trong những cái kênh quảng cáo dành cho đại đa số người dùng, những người dùng bình dân trung cấp, những người họ có thời gian dùng để xem TV thì họ mới quảng cáo được. Vì nếu như vậy, những người đó dù có xem Lamborghini, quảng cáo trên TV cũng chẳng bán được cho họ. Ngược lại, những người có tiền họ mua Lamborghini thì họ lại không dành thời gian của họ để xem TV. Họ sẽ làm rất nhiều cái hoạt động khác. Họ có thể đang ngồi học, hay là họ đang kinh doanh, họ làm họp cái kế hoạch đầu tư, hoặc là họ đang tụ tập với bạn bè, họ chơi trong những cái buổi chơi rất là sang trọng. Thì sự thật chứng minh là như vậy. Tức là rất nhiều khi mình có những cái mối relationship mà mình nghĩ là nó sẽ là obvious thì thực ra nó lại không đúng với lại cái tập data. Như vậy mình phải test tất cả mọi chuyện liên quan tới relationship between two variables through the data, okay? And in this section in the video that I post for you, they will introduce about the relationship between two variables. We can in two ways. First of all, this would be the graph, okay? This would be what the people call the scatter. Anyone know? Scatter plot. Okay. This would be what the people call the scatter plot. This would be the scatter plot of the relationship between temperature and the ice cream. But we have another way, and this is the today's section team about numerical measure. That means when we talk about the relationship between two variables like ice cream and temperature, the graphical, they look cool. Okay, the chart look cool, and it's so visualizable. It's so kind of like straightforward when you go and see it, and you take a look and say, "Oh, it looked like we had the relationship." Really? Are you sure about that? We really had the relationship between two variables based on just the graph? No. Kiểu là nhiều khi đối với tất cả các graph như vậy mình học ở chương trước á, thì tất cả các graph cho chúng ta được cái hình dung về mối quan hệ chẳng hạn. Như thế này, người ta được gọi là mình nhìn thấy, mình cảm nhận thấy là hình như có mối quan hệ giữa hai variable bằng mắt. Nhưng đối với nhà toán học hoặc là các nhà quản lý, nhiều khi họ không muốn công nhận điều đó. Give me the number. It's just not just the graph. I don't believe in the graph. I don't believe in the graphical display. Give me the number. And that's the reason why even for measurements of the two variables, we have to measure all them on just not only the graph, but also in the numerical variable. Sorry, numerical measure. And here, normally when talk about relationship between two variables, we have the two terminology. The first of all, the covariance. The covariance. Okay, so if you measure for the covariance and they are larger than 0, that means that's a positive relationship. And another function, okay, and of course, like another way, like if you measure it and then it's smaller than 0, that means it's a negative relationship. Okay, and that's if that equal to 0. Okay, if that equal to 0. Mọi người có nhìn thấy cái bảng của thầy không, hay là hắn bị chậm mọi người?
Hơi bị chậm một tí thôi mà.
Hắn bị chậm, bị lag à?
Vâng.
I don't understand why. Okay, that if it equal to 0, we say that no relationship. Okay. Okay, there are no relationship. And the same thing other with the variable like this, another kind of measure, we can use the correlation coefficient. The same, larger than 0, smaller than 0, and equal to 0. Okay. Okay, fine. Because you guys didn't watch for the video, so I now have to demonstrate everything again on the video. Okay, let's do it. I will just stop sharing for the screen, and then we go back into the my computer. Okay, go back into the computer. Okay, fine. Mấy đứa hư quá, mấy đứa học không, mấy đứa không lo mà ngồi coi video trước ở nhà, thầy giao về nhà không lo coi. Bây giờ cứ mỗi lần đi cái là phải dạy lại. Okay, so now we measure for the two other things, like the relationship between two variables, okay, by the number. We first of all come into this chapter. You can download the data. Let me see if we still have it on this one, okay. And you go up here. You can download for the chapter 2 or chapter 3 data. They're the same. The chapter 3 data or the chapter 2 data, they're the same. So I do with the same data. The chapter 3 data and the stereo. No, I will not. That's in the previous chapter. In the chapter 2, the stereo. Okay. Okay, last one, I use the stereo for the demonstration of the two variables. So in this section, we want to see the relationship of the number of commercial and the sale volume. The number of commercial is the same with number of advertisement.
Dạ, thầy ơi, thầy chưa share màn hình.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Mọi người lên trên này, mọi người download lại cái data file và number 2, cái chapter number 2. Nó related directly into number 3 luôn, cho nên thầy phải demonstrate nó ở trên cùng cái file data này. And I open for where you have the data file, you have the stereo file. Okay, and you open it on. So over here, okay, I will do it again. This will be all the kind of like primary data, and you see we have the week from number 1 into number 10. We see like a number of commercial. That means the same with the number of advertisement. Okay, run. Okay, number of advertisement run on the TV, for example. So for the first week, we run 2 advertisement, and we can sell it like 50. Like 50 car, like stereo. This is stereo car, stereo shop. So stereo shop. Okay. You know what is stereo mean? This is stereo. This is what the people call about. This is about audio, about the sensor, about the amplifier, about your like speaker. That's it, or the stereo shop. Okay. Okay, so we see that in the first week we run for 2 advertisement, and we have the sale volume of 50 products, something like that. And in the second week, the people feel like, no, I want to run more advertisement on the market. And you can see like we run like 5 of them, and the sale volume were 57. Okay. So the same thing like in the fourth week, for example, they run for 3 advertisement, and they can just come back with the 50s in the sale volume. That's really cool. So basically, you can see here data. What? How many observations we have? How many observations we have, man?
10.
How many?
10.
10.
Okay. And how many variable we have? Or how many variable we really care about?
2.
2. Actually, just 2. Number of commercial and sale volume. The week could be 5. Okay, they are variable, but I'm okay with that. So I have 2 variable, and they are the quantitative or qualitative variable.
Quantitative.
They are both quantitative. Number of commerce, that's number. Sale volume, that's also the number. So the quantitative variable. And what you think the people are trying to do with this data? Using it contest, what are they? Yeah, Lam Nhật.
I think they want to evaluate the relationship between advertisement and sale volume.
Okay. The relationship between advertisement and sale volume, right? Can you explain it more in detail like in the kind of like daily world? Giải thích theo kiểu dễ hiểu hơn. What does it mean? They want to see if they
quảng cáo nhiều thì bán được nhiều.
Whether the increase in advertisement will increase the sale. Okay, that's the point. Thank you, Nhật. 0.5 for you, okay? Sorry. 0.5 for you, okay, Nhật. All right. Now, let's first of all go with the analysis in 2 ways. The first way would be what people say. I'm talking to you before in the graph about the measurement of the 2 variables. We can use this one, the graph, okay? We can use this one, the graph. That should be called the scatter plot. So scatter plot analysis, that's me in graphical display. Okay. Do it. We want to see, we want to generate for the graph like look like this one with the x horizontal for one variable and the vertical horizontal like axis for the another variable. How can we do it? First of all, we select for the first variable, for example, the cell volume. Okay, the cell volume. If we select this one, then we go into the vertical. And then another one, number of commercial. I will use the control. Remember, thầy bấm nút control and keep them. And then you score and select for another one. Okay, so now at the same time, you can select for two different variables. You go into insert. You go, for example, recommend chart, they good. And another way, go directly into the scatter plot, they good too. I here just go with the scatter plot. Okay, right. And now this could be what the people call relationship between number of commercial and cell volume. Okay, another one. So I can add into the axis to make it clear. So this is what the name of this axis. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get this will be the number of commercial or the cell volume.
Number of commercials.
Yeah, number of commercial because they all just fluctuate between 1 and 5, right? Number of commercial. Okay, and of course for this one, there will be what, man?
Cell volume.
Cell volume. Okay. Okay, so you see here, for example, with the just one advertisement, I make it about like around 40. Some week I run like 2 advertisement is approximate nearly 50, 48 or 49 something. If I run like 3, it's around 50, a little bit more than 50. 4 advertisement, less than 60 a little bit. 5, that's about 60. So can you see any relationship between them? Man, can you see any relationship between them?
So the more commercial they do, the several, the more the several.
Look really good like that way. Yeah, look like the more number of commercial that will increase, the cell volume increase. Okay, and you can also at the same time create for the trend line. The trend line will help you to determine if they are really exactly the positive relationship or negative relationship by just click on the data point and you see add trend line. You have the different kinds of graph, but normally the exponential they will just modify a little bit. So just let's stick with the linear. Does look better. Okay, and that should be all. You see that will be from this one. So from the scatter plot, okay. From the scatter plot, number of commercial and cell volume represent a positive relationship. Okay, remember this is a very important part. In the first group assignment, I require you to generate for the scatter plot. You know, this will be the point. Okay, another one. In this section, I already introduced this is actually in the end of the chapter 3, but I put it in the first part of the section because they directly related into the chapter 2 and the scatter plot that I generated. So in this section, I want to see how they measure for the relationship in the number by the covariance and also for the correlation coefficient. So for the covariance positive value, when we generate the calculation for the covariance, they are quite difficult for you to understand. They quite complicated in the term of the formula. So it's not easy for you to understand. And if you do it all by the calculation by yourself, like previously manually, hồi xưa mà không có máy tính bằng Excel nghe, máy tính bằng máy tính tay nghe, thầy đảm bảo bay là sai chắc chắn luôn. Công thức nó rất là dài, xíu nữa thầy chỉ cho coi công thức. Đây, this is the formula. This is really so complicated. You don't have to really remember about this one. You have to just remember about covariance. In the end, they will be generated by Excel. And if, yeah, and if the covariant, like positive relation, if they are larger than 0 or if they are positive, so that means it indicates a positive relationship. If the negative values, that means the covariant. If they are smaller than 0, that indicates a negative relationship. So now we go and check it if that's very true. In this section, I will use the covariant. Okay. Wait a second, I have a phone call. Okay, sorry guys, I just received a phone call from Việt UK. They asked me for some information, sorry. Okay, that's good. Now, let's check it with the number, okay? So for this section, we will check it by the numerical analysis, okay? Through, first of all, we will say like the covariant, okay? So for the covariant, you want to use it and you want to do it for all the measurement. For covariant, you have the covariant function here, but it's not a covariant by P, but by S. So how we can use? You will use the function covariant dot S, okay, in this section. Sorry, not covariant, covariant. Okay, now let's check it. The covariant, I use this and I check it like covariant dot S, and you display. They ask for the first array, that's the cell volume, but I skip for the label. Okay, just all the number. Array 2, number of commercial, but all the number. Then close parenthesis, and that's 11. So according to this, if the covariant is larger than 0, is positive. It indicates a positive relationship, right? So we can say what? This is a positive relationship between number of commercial and cell volume. Another one we can also generate would be the correlation coefficient. They equal the same with the covariant, but they have a better understanding. So the same, if they are larger than 0, if they are larger, they are positive. That means they are a positive relationship. If they are less than 0, if they are not negative, they are a negative relationship. But however, a very good point of the correlation coefficient is that they just fluctuate between minus 1 into positive 1. So if they very close to positive 1, that means they are very good, a perfect positive relationship. If they close to 0, that means that's not so good, look like they don't have the relationship. If they are about like in the middle of the positive, so that means they are a positive relationship, but they're not so strong. If they close to minus 1, like it's closer and closer to minus 1, they have a strong and negative relationship. The same thing apply. Thầy nói lại ngắn xíu. Hồi nãy có covariant thì covariant nó chỉ cần lớn hơn 0 thì nó là positive relationship, nhỏ hơn 0 thì nó sẽ là negative relationship. Ở đây chúng ta có một cái khái niệm khác là correlation coefficient. Nhưng correlation coefficient tính toán phức tạp hơn correlation covariant một chút. Nhưng nó lại có một cái ưu điểm vô cùng to lớn. To lớn ở đây là gì? Đó là nếu như cái giá trị correlation coefficient này cũng giống như covariant vậy. Nếu như nó là số âm thì nó là negative relationship. Nếu nó là số dương thì nó là positive relationship. Nhưng có một ưu điểm hơn rất là nhiều so với lại là là thằng covariance ở chỗ là nếu như cái số này nó càng gần bằng dương 1, positive là đúng rồi, nhưng nó lại còn mạnh nữa. Mối quan hệ giữa hai cái variable này là rất mạnh, gọi là một perfect correlation hoặc là strong correlation. Yeah. Nếu như mà nó càng về số âm 1, càng âm 1 tức là số âm, thì nó là một negative relationship, nhưng càng gần âm 1 thì nó gọi là một strong negative relationship. Nếu nó in the middle of something, nếu như nó vẫn là positive nhưng nó ở giá trị 0.4, 0.3 rồi, thì nó chỉ dạng là weak relationship thôi. Yeah. Rồi, đó là cái ví dụ. Thì here, let's check it for the correlation coefficient. And we see like how they will be different. Okay. In this one, you just use the function Quartile on Excel. Okay. And I will put like Quartile. Array 1, number of commercial, they're the same. Cell volume, the same. Okay. That is what? That's positive? Yeah, that's positive. And is that close to +1? That's close to -1 or close to +1?
+1.
Close to +1. So that means a strong positive, strongly positive relationship between number of commerce and cell volume. Okay. Is that good, man? That's good. Okay. All right. So yeah, this will be the first section of this of the today class. So we talk about the relationship between two variables and how the people in general they can measure them in the number via the covariance and the correlation coefficient. So basically in this one you can just study and find the relationship. This is also the requirement. So in this chapter, I already post in for the example, and you can see how they measure it all in like detail about how everybody do it in detail. But I don't want you to do it, so I say the term and I show you how to do it on Excel. That's going to save a lot of time for you, I'm pretty sure. And this is the first part of the class about the today's section about the relationship, the descriptive statistic for the numerical measure. Okay, and in this section we will talk about the measurement of the location of the data and also for the measurement of the variability. Okay, so we will go with this part later in this chapter. This is now like 9:45, so we already done with the 1 and 15 minutes of the first chapter. We will take a break, like short break of about 5 to 10 minutes, and then later we come back and we will talk about this one, the measurement of location and measurement of variabilities of the section. I'm pretty sure this will be more interesting than the previous one. And let's come back, and now we'll talk about the second part of this section about the two things: measure of location and measure of the variability. So in this chapter, we will first of all come with some kinds of like terminology about population and sample, which we will talk about that much more in detail later in the chapter number 6. But you guys will have to come home and talk about like what exactly will be the sample statistic and population parameters and the point estimation. So I will not talk about that in detail. So first of all, yeah, you guys all here? Hello?
Yes, we are here.
Okay, so now in this section, the first part of the section, we'll talk about the mean, okay, the median, mode, and quartile. Okay, this will be the main the four things that we mainly talk about in this section of the measure of location, and you will feel like it's very common in detail. And we will, in another way, it's just not talk about this one. We will also use the data I showed you before, right? The apartment rent in data with answer that you can download easily is on the canvas, right? Okay, just right over here, and we just demonstrate everything now in this section. And so first of all, we take a look into the data. Okay, this is the first variable attributes that will be number from 1 into 70. Okay, and this will be the rent. That means the rental cost. If you want to say in detail, that should be rental cost. That means the money you have to pay for the owner of the apartment. When you really want to rent it. I guess that's you guys. If you guys kind of student from another kind of province and come into Da Nang for study, and you know what exactly they mean, right? Okay. So first of all, today's section we will play with this one, and take a look and tell me about like the data has how many observations.
70 observations.
Yeah, 70 observation. Okay, just wait a second. I'm doing Roman. Okay, so the data has 70 observation. Observation actually here we can just say them generally would be 70 different pattern. And how many variable we have?
Just one.
Just one. Yeah, we can say like just one variable. Okay. And one variable, that's a quantitative variable. Thank you a lot. Yep. Now, let's just think about. So we have the price of each different in the 70 different apartment in there. For example, in your area, in your neighborhood, right? And I, the guy who going to do the generation for the analysis, I'm doing the analysis for, like from the perspective of me, a rental. That means the guy who are looking for a room, who are looking for an apartment for rent. I want to find a house, okay? So, anyone? Raise your hand, and this is the extra credit question. What will be the business contest? This data set. Anyone? Why I want to have this data and what I gonna do with this one? Anyone? Okay, Ngọc.
You take this data to know that how much people can willing to pay for, and the last proportion people to willing to pay at the level of rental cost.
Okay. Anything more detail? That is still a little bit too general with me. But thank you, Ngọc, a lot. Like think about like that should be a good one. Yeah. So one like half of the point for you. Okay. Another one like Jay, please.
So I think that would be for the investment. I mean, so you can see from the survey of the rented cost, which area that has the higher cost, which area has the lower cost.
Which
So
apartment actually?
Oh yeah, which apartment? So from that, you can maybe you can invest for the better apartment or for the guard, you know, for the utility and something more.
Okay, not too much for just the data. So like when we talk about the data, that means we will just stick with the data. If the data does not tell anything else, we cannot guess it. Okay. But thank you a lot for your idea. Okay, both of you and Ngọc, you got like half of the point. Okay, half of the extra credit. Thank you. So yeah, business contest of this one is quite simple. I want to try to just know the, for example, the average price of the apartment. Okay, the maximum. So the rent, the difference between the maximum and the minimum values, the price of the data, the rents of rent, okay, something like that, to just eventually find out our optimal selection option for rent. Okay, now we do it. How can go do it with this? First, we just first part go with my tablet, and we talk about that on my tablet very quick, so you can easily find out for the intuition and also the idea behind this one. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do with this one. Okay. Now, the first part, the measure of location. We will have 4 different kinds of measure we want to go talk with. First of all, the mean. The second one, the median. Okay, most. I will say about most. The third one will be median. And the last one will be quartile, which will be based on the median. So the mean values of the data set will let us know about the, anyone know the mean value, what does it mean?
That means the average value.
Okay, the average value of the data. Okay, the average, the value of the data. For example, I have about A, 10, and 12. Mean equal to what? How can you measure for the mean?
That would be 10.
10, how can we do it?
So we get the sum of the 3 values and we divide by the number of the values.
Yeah, that should be 10. Okay, that's simple, right? Thank you, Jake. Give you 1 extra point. That's simple. Okay, I will not talk a lot about the mean because that's the average values of all the data, and that's provided for the demonstration about the location of the data very quick. We talk about mode. So mode will be the value that appear most. That means that's appear a lot. For example, when I say about this one, 7 in the data set have a 7, 8, 7, 9, 8, 11, and 8. Okay. So what will be the mode value?
8.
Anyone want to raise your hand? Okay, Hằng, you come first.
It's 8.
Why you think it will be 8?
Because it appears 3 times.
Okay.
Yes.
Why the 7? 7 appear also, does appear a lot also, but just
2 times.
2 times. So yeah, that's right. So the most of the data sets could be simple, just 8. Thank you a lot, Hằng. 1+ for you. Okay, another one, median. Now, the median value would be, for example, all the data of the data sets would be just run from the minimum value, right, into the maximum values. And the median will be the value in the middle. It's not the mean, it's not the average, but they will be the data point in which they will be larger than the 50% of the data. So the 50% small data will be less than the median. And they will be smaller. That means they will be smaller than the 50% large data of the data set. So they divide the data into 50-50, okay? For example, this could be required, for example, like 5, 6, 11, 9, 8, 10, and 16. Okay, so what would be the median value? Very simple. First of all, we have to rank them for the like ascending value, ascending order. Ascending order means increasing. We put them in increasing order. So from 5, right, into 6 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 16. So what will be the value? Divide the data into the 2 different parts. Yeah.
I think it's a 9.
Why? Why you think like that?
Because yeah, you already explained that.
I already explained. Now just tell me a little bit about the context of the data set. So how many observations we have in this data set?
A 7.
About 7, right? We have the 7 observation. Okay. So 9 will be in the middle of everything. And they larger than 3 observation, right? And they're smaller than the other 3. So actually they divide the data into the 2 section. Okay, the 2 section. Another example I say will be like 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, and then now 16, and then 10. How can we say about the median? Anyone? Thank you, Yang. Yeah, like have the point for you. Okay. Anyone? Yeah, Lâm.
So I think the medium that 7.5.
Why you think that that's way?
Because we have a observation, so I calculate average between 8 and 7.
Okay, so they larger than the 50%. This is 50%. Okay, and average could be 7.5. So you think this could be the point? Good job, man.
Yes.
Yeah, like half up for you. Okay, yeah. Thank you a lot. So you know what? How to measure for the median, the mode, and the mean? Is that hard? Is that hard? No, right? Okay. And another thing, another terminology we have to learn would be the quartile. So if what people do with the median will be like just divide the data into the 2 different parts. Okay, the first part and the second part. The small part, 50%, and the last part, 50%. So that's what the people do with the median. So now let's talk about the quartile. That means the data will be divided. The data will be divided into the 4 different parts, from the mean value into the maximum value. Okay, and what does it mean when they say quartile? I will write it very clear. Quartile. What mean quartile mean? Okay, Tú.
I guess it is quarter. That means divide the section into 4 small parts.
Yeah, this you divide into 4 parts, and just please stay and stick with an answer. So now I will divide the data into the 4 different sections, 4 parts. Okay, so this is the first 25% of the small data, 25 another, 25 another, and 25% another. Okay, this will be 4/4 of the data, and we have 3 different quartile is usually the people use. The first one the people so-called call the first quartile, or the people sometimes the 25% percentile. Q3 does mean 50 percentile, and they also are the median. Q3 that means 75 percentile. Okay, and anyone can guess about the Tú, can you guess about the meaning of the Q1 mean? Yeah, Tú.
Yeah. Below average. The point that express the below average.
I'm asking about the Q1. What did it mean?
That means
you got the point about the median, right?
Yes.
The median means that's the data divided into 2 different parts. So that means it's larger than the first 50%, but smaller than the second 50%.
Yeah, I guess it is the median between the mean point and the median of a whole group.
Yeah, that's close, but more like you have to generalize in the whole data set from the mean value into the maximum value. Can you?
Maybe I will give this opportunity for the other.
For another guy, okay, that's okay. Okay, 0.5 for Tú, okay, it's good. Anyone can explain me about the reason of the 3 different quartile according to what I'm demonstrating on the graph? Lee, you want to answer?
So I think the P1 is the first quartile, and I think it is equal to 25%.
Is could be mean is larger than the first 25.
Yes, 25.
But it's smaller than
75.
Yeah, 75% of the last value. Okay, so that's larger than the 25 small, but smaller than the 75 left. That would be more, or the value that's larger than the Q1. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, so and another one would be the Q2. Why I also call it the median? The Q2, can you explain it? So, Lei, sorry. Continue and get the 1 point.
I think it is median because I think it is equal to 50.
Not equal, but it's larger than.
It larger than 50, and it's it larger than 50 and is smaller than 50.
50% large value, and the rest, the last one, Q3. What it mean?
So the answer about it. So Q3 I think it's larger than 75 and smaller than 25.
25% of the rest of the data. Okay, thank you, Lei. Yeah, plus for 1 point for Lei. Okay, that could be it. That should be all the idea about the quartile. And I will demonstrate everything about the mean value, the average of the data, the most value for the data, and the median value for the and the quartile in the my example. Okay, yeah, and you take a look on that now. Okay, wait for a second. Okay, let's come back. Let's go back with the data. Okay, and first of all, I want to clarify this could be what I call the data set A. Okay, they is the original data, and now I generate for another one the data set B, just to do some kind of like experiment, so you can see the difference between the two data. The rental cost, I would say the data set B. Okay, the only thing different is like they are the same in the value, but the difference will be like in some value. You see as all here will be just like 500, 600 or 700 something for the data. I will put this one very small, like just 200. Okay, I would just change the first one, just like from like 545 to just 200. And another one, like in the end of this one, for example, in this apartment, I will put it like $20,000. So thinking about you going to just rent for a house with $20,000, about like 10 different bedroom, and we'll have a bit like party pool, and we even have the helicopter, something like that. Thì ý tưởng của thầy cơ bản đây là thầy tạo ra hai cái dataset thứ nhất và dataset thứ hai hoàn toàn giống nhau nha, nhưng mà sự khác biệt chỉ duy nhất một điểm, đó là dataset thứ nhất thì các giá trị đều là original và nó đều quanh các giá trị 500 đô, 600 đô hoặc 700 đô. Cái thứ hai, dataset B, nó có các giá trị giống hệt vậy, chỉ có cái là thầy sẽ cho một cái giá trị rất nhỏ, giá 200 đô thôi. Một căn phòng thuê giá 200 đô rất tồi tàn và dễ, ví dụ như là thiếu rất nhiều thiết bị em đó. Ngược lại thì có một cái giá căn phòng rất đắt, giá 20.000 đô. Có thể đây là một căn hộ mà có khoảng tầm 10 phòng ngủ, có ví dụ sân đậu xe hơi, rồi sân đậu máy bay luôn đấy, rồi có thêm cả là the party pool. Okay, something like that. Okay, and we will make a comparison between the two data sets. So first of all, we going to do for the measures of location. That's what we are doing. Okay, and we go through it with the first of all the mean values, or normally people sometimes call it average value. Another one, that should be the mode values. Another one, median value, and another one that should be the quartile. Okay, this should be 4 values that we go in and analyze, and I will demonstrate for you what exactly they mean. Okay, so first of all, the mean value, what I'm gonna do. The mean values in Excel, we don't have the function called mean. We just have function called average. Okay, so just use the function average for this one. They will be not different. Okay, and I say average, and from the rental cost, okay, B2 into, I use the control and shift and arrow down. Okay, I got it all here. B2 into B71. Okay, and that's to be 590.8. What does it mean here? Anyone? What does it mean here? Anyone want to raise your hand? Okay, Lee.
So I think 590.8 is the average of the rental cost.
The average price.
Price of 70 rental costs.
Apartment. Okay, apartment. An apartment. An apartment. In this area. Okay, $590.8. And what exactly this mean? When I'm talking about what exactly this mean, thank you, Lee. And what exactly this mean? That mean you know now know exactly will be the average price of all the house in these areas, right? If you got a house or apartment that's list cheaper than this one, doesn't mean it's cheaper than average. It's higher than this one, doesn't mean it's higher than average. For example, I'm go out there and I see a house called the price like $600 or $650 for the price listed. Okay. What I'm going to do for negotiation with the owner of the apartment owner? What I'm going to do? Nè, nếu thầy ra đường mà thầy biết giá trung bình của nó là 590 đô rồi, thầy sẽ làm gì nếu thầy gặp một căn nhà có giá là 650 đô? Đoạn này nói tiếng Việt cũng được, cho vui. Này, nói đi, nói vui đi. Đi hay Khánh nói chứ.
Dạ em nghĩ là mình sẽ trả giá xuống.
Mình nói chị, ủa anh ơi, trời ơi, anh biết không, anh làm như em không biết chi hết trơn á. Ở đây em nắm giá hết rồi. Em biết là giá quanh ở đây khoảng 590 đô thôi. Mà bây giờ anh bán cái giá, anh cho thuê nhà mà giá 650 đô, mà nhà anh như bình thường những nhà khác thì làm sao anh cho thuê? Em nói thiệt nghe, 590 đô anh thuê, kiểu như vậy. Ok, mình sẽ trả giá xuống. Nếu đi ra đường gặp một ông đang rao biển giá 540 đô, bạn làm gì? Khánh nói đấy, cứ được không, cái đoạn này thì cứ nói chuyện nào.
Dạ là em nghĩ là ông đã cho giá thấp hơn giá trung bình rồi á, thì chứng tỏ là cái nhà của ông phải có điểm chi đó tệ.
Lỡ ví dụ mình coi xong rồi thì thường là mình đến mình coi nhà là mình không có, họ không bắt giá ngay, mà họ xem cái gương mặt của mình á, cái gương mặt mình mà kiểu như là thấy cái ngôi nhà làm sao, cái gương mặt mình nhăn nhó hay gương mặt mình cười hớn hở á, họ mới cho giá. Nhưng ví dụ như bây giờ căn nhà của họ cũng như bình thường, cũng như average với tất cả những căn nhà average ở tại khu vực của bạn, và ông hô giá 540 đô thì bạn làm gì?
Dạ là tỏ thái độ bình thường rồi mới bắt đầu mua hoặc là điều giá xuống một xíu nữa.
Đúng, hô là như đó, chính xác. Đến lúc đó xong gặp họ mình sẽ nói ồ 540 hả? Bây giờ mình sẽ không nói về giá, mà sẽ tâm lý của một người đi thuê nhà, mình sẽ nói rằng dạ anh, nhà anh thì em thấy cũng được, nhưng mà thực sự là em thấy giá 540 đô hơi cao với em. Mà sao nói là hơi cao với thị trường? Nó là hơi cao với sức em, mà thiệt chứ anh cho bớt xíu được không? Ví dụ cỡ 530 có ba anh cho em thuê tháng này, bớt 10 đô đó cho em để trả tiền điện tiền nước, kiểu như mọi người hiểu ý thầy không? Đó là cách. Cho nên đối với cái tập dữ liệu này liên quan tới data, thực tế một cái tập data như vậy là rất quý nếu như bạn làm về dân về real estate sale, tức là bất động sản. Thì khi mà bạn bán một căn nhà ở trên một cái con đường, nếu mà là dân real estate bọn real estate nó luôn luôn ép giá của bạn, hắn luôn mua được giá thấp và hắn luôn bán được giá cao. Nguyên nhân duy nhất một điều thôi, mọi người biết nó khác nhau ở chỗ nào không? Data. Nó có rất nhiều data trong tay. Nó luôn luôn, ví dụ bây giờ nó muốn mua một cái miếng đất hoặc nó muốn bán một miếng đất ở trên đường Lê Lợi hay ở quanh biên UK đó là đường Lê Lợi, thì basically là nó đã có hết data về những ngôi nhà đang bán trên thị trường. Những ngôi nhà nào cùng một hướng nhà, ví dụ cùng là hướng Đông Nam, cùng là khoảng 3 tầng và cùng được xây khoảng từ năm 2010 đổ lại đây. Giả sử như thế, diện tích đều là khoảng tầm đâu đó khoảng 100 m². Thì nó đã nắm được cái giá trung bình của các căn nhà rồi, nó có thể có giá của 20-30 căn nhà như thế giống nhau. Và nó biết được trên thị trường. Cho nên đến khi giả sử một căn hộ ở trên đường Lê Lợi ra gần biên UK, giá trung bình là 10 million. Nếu như nó đi mua nhà, đây là trong trường hợp nó đi mua nhà nha, một cái bọn broker đi mua nhà, nó thấy cái nhà đang rao bán giá 11 tỷ, nó làm gì?
Ép giá xuống.
Ép giá xuống, chính xác, nó phải ép giá xuống. Nó sẽ nói rằng là anh ơi, trời, anh không biết đâu, giá ở khung này mà làm gì bán được 11 tỷ anh. Giờ điểm hiện tại đây Covid, Covid nữa, ai mà mua nhà để mà làm kinh doanh mấy đâu. Cho nên em nói thiệt, nếu mà anh đang gấp, anh cần tiền á, thì anh bán với giá thấp xuống đi. Hỏi bán thấp như bao nhiêu đi, thôi anh bán cho người ta giá khoảng tầm là 9 tỷ. Yeah. Rồi bán giá 9 tỷ đi, thì em nghĩ là chắc là bán thì mới đi được. Thế thì việc là nếu người ta mà nghe như vậy xong, người ta tới thôi có 9 tỷ gì đó rồi em nói cho người ta tới mua giùm anh. Thế lập tức ngày hôm sau không phải là nó đứng ra mua, nhưng là một người thân của cái broker này sẽ đến và đặt giá trồng tiền với giá 9 tỷ đồng. Vậy chưa cần biết gì hết, hắn ta sẽ lời trong tay là khoảng 1 tỷ đồng về chênh lệch giá. Tương tự như vậy, nếu như giá bình thường đang là 10 tỷ đồng, một anh nào đó đang rất cần tiền và anh hô bán với giá là 9 tỷ rưỡi, lập tức broker cũng sẽ đến và broker cũng nói là anh bán 9 tỷ rưỡi hả, em thấy cũng vẫn hơi cao cho thị trường đó, mặc dù nó biết là giá trung bình là 10 tỷ, nói là cỡ 9 tỷ anh bán không. Đấy, kiểu như vậy. Rồi cái nhiệm vụ của hắn cơ bản là như thế. Yeah, that's gonna be all the thing behind the sale. Okay, so you know about, if you got a house the apartment that's less than the average, you say the price is lower than average. If it's higher, you say the price higher than average. You know what it means exactly, okay? Now, and another one, mode. The mode values, we will use the function MODE, okay? And we use the function here, MODE. Okay, and the number from the B2 until, what exactly does this mean? B71, okay, because that's go into 71, but I remember the number already. So I say, okay, B2 and B2 and B71. And what exactly this mean? Anyone? Raise your hand. Okay, yeah.
I think if you set the price around this, yeah, most people will buy apartment with the price.
No, not this. That's the you buy. This is what you are the rentant and you going to find for your apartment, right? What does it mean? That is the mode value. Okay. Here, come back with the slide. I will not just stick with the slide because you guys can read it, even for the kid can read it. But the most value mean the value that occur in the greatest frequency. That means that appear a lot, appear most. Okay. So, what this mean? Yay.
It means that is the most common price for rental apartment.
This is the most common price for the apartment rent. Okay, so that means if you go out there in the 70 different apartments, the highest possibility that you will see the price of 550. Đây sẽ là cái giá mà bạn dễ gặp nhất nếu bạn đi ra ngoài kia và bạn tìm hỏi giá của 70 căn hộ này. Giả sử nếu bạn đếm thôi, let's count it. How many times is up here? I will use the function count if. You know about this one? Count all the value from B2 into B71. Okay. And the criteria will be 550. I want to see, like, among all the data, how many times of the 550 will appear. And that's will be 7 times, man. 7 over 70 in total. That means it's 10% actually. That 10% actually, you can see that the price will be exactly 550. That's the reason why I say this is the most common price of the apartment rent in this area is $550. Okay, thank you. That was what? Nhi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 1 point for you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Nhật, you have to try a little bit. Okay, how about median? A median. Okay. Okay, the median. The median that I say I already mentioned about. That means the data sets of the median in the middle where the data items are arranged in the ascending order, and they are in the middle of all the data. Okay, so I use the function median here. And one more time, B1, sorry, B2 into B71, okay? 575. What exactly this mean? Yep, you want to answer this question? Or anyone?
That,
Okay.
I think that middle price.
That's the middle price. All the apartment is 575. And that mean what? Yep. That mean 50%.
50% smaller and
The apartment
50% is smaller,
cheaper
cheaper.
than 550. Okay. And 50%
It's expensive.
more
More
expensive
expensive.
than 575.
500.
Sorry for that's 575. Sorry, I make it wrong. It's not. Okay, 575 here. Okay. All right. Thank you, Nya. One point for you. Okay. And finally, the quartile. Okay. The quartile go with the same idea with the median. So with the quartile, we will use the function quartile actually. Okay, and we have a 3 different quartiles. That means Q1, the first quartile, or that should be 25% quartile. Okay, and we use the function. So there's another one will be Q2, or 50%, or this is also the median. And the Q3, 70% quartile. Okay, let's do it. First of all, I use the function quartile. Okay, and can you see it? The array could be from B2 into B71. Okay, and this could be the point. They ask about the quartile. What exactly the quartile mean? The value you want. If you put in 0, that means the minimum value. For example, I put in 0. That's 525. That means that's the median value. The minimum value will be 525. But here I want the first quartile, so I put in 1. Okay, that means the first quartile 25%. Okay, and I put it here. That be 546.25. And what this mean? Anyone? Lee?
So I think is 25. The apartment is larger than 546.25, and 75 of apartment is larger than 546.25.
A more expensive.
Yeah, more expensive.
This one is for 25. Okay. Okay, thank you. And can you just present for another one? Keep going with the other one, Lee. I give you another. This will be quartile one more time, okay? And this will be array from like B2 to B71. That's the same. And here the quartile will be 2, okay? Q2, that means quartile. And they're exactly the same. You see here, it will be 575, and it's exactly the same, the median. So I can put it like this one. But now I want Lee to just explain about this, the quartile 3, the Q3, okay? The Q3 does mean quartile Okay, and B2 and 2, B71, and the quartile now will be the 3. What this mean? Lee?
So it means that 75% of apartment is cheaper than $622.5 and 25% of apartment is more expensive than $622.5.
Yeah, thank you a lot. A cheaper, right? A more expensive. And 622.5. Appreciate Lee, and that's gonna be the point I want to say about, and you got the 1 point. Okay. Okay, that's the measures of location, and that's the thing I want to say about the measure of location, and that's very simple. The only thing that I want to do right now will be with the data set B, and the same idea about the mean value. I want to just measure about the mean value, and you see like either any difference between the two. So over here with the data set B, I still use the average. But now from T, right? T2 into T71, I guess. Yeah. And you see any difference between the mean value of the two data sets? And why? Can you explain? Anyone?
Thầy ơi, em chưa thấy cái mà thầy đang làm đó.
Em không thấy. What? The mean values of the data set B này. And the mean value of the old data set này. Mọi người nhìn thấy không? Ok.
Thấy.
Yeah. Mọi người có nhìn thấy nó khác nhau không? Hai cái tập dữ liệu này nó giống nhau exactly luôn á. Nó chỉ khác nhau duy nhất là cái giá trị đầu tiên. Một thằng là rất là nhỏ. Và cuối cùng, giá trị cuối cùng thì một thằng so với thằng kia rất là lớn. Rất lớn. Thì điều này dẫn đến cái mean value này. Is they different or the same?
It's different.
It's different. And why? Just remember about the average or the mean value, okay? So it's the sum of all the number plot together and divide for the total number of observations in the sample. So you see the rental cost here. This one, all the values is quite the same. They are from like about something 500, something 600, or something 700. So when they sum together, they surround 600 or 500. That's exactly the thing. But however, for the mean of the big data, like the big data set, like the data set B, with the very small one and with the very big one, when they sum up together and divide for the number of observation of 70, right? 70 observation, they will skew. They will increase the average value a lot. And now they no longer have the representative meaning. Bây giờ thì cái giá trị min này thực sự nó không còn ý nghĩa trong trường hợp này. Mọi người nhìn thấy giá trị min ở bên này. Nếu thầy đi ra ngoài đường thầy hỏi là giá của khu vực này 70 cái nhà thì nó giá bao nhiêu, thì bạn sẽ nhìn thấy giá ở đây là 590 đô. Tức là mình thấy giá của cái khu này đâu đó khoảng tầm 590-600 đô. Hợp lý. Nhưng nếu như thầy dùng cái giá trị mean value để diễn tả cái giá trung bình của tất cả các ngôi nhà ở khu vực B, mọi người thấy nó có hợp lý không? 863 đô. Thực tế mà nói, thầy tới đây, thầy nghe tới đây, thầy điếc tai bắt đầu thầy kêu chết chưa. Nhà ở đây đắt đó, so với khu kia là đắt hơn tới cầm 200 mấy chục đô, 270, 280 đô lận. Như vậy là thầy tự nghĩ trong đầu là giá nó rất là mắc. Nhưng về thực tế không. Nếu như không tính tới những cái nhà rất là rẻ hoặc là nhà rất là đắt ở trong khu vực này, thì giá của nó cũng cỡ đâu đó 500 mấy đô. Như vậy, vì lý do hai cái extreme value này, extremely small and extremely big value like this, have a just skew and make it not balanced anymore. So in this way, mean no longer a good one. I try with the mode. Actually, I want to see the mode value. Rental cost. The same, 550. Both the same, okay? With the median, be T2 into T71. 575. Oh, they're the same, man. And I get pretty sure that the same with the quantile too. So in this case, you see like just the mean value will be different between the two data sets. Okay, and they change a lot. Okay, that's going to be the measure of the location. Thank you a lot. And now let's just train into the another one. Let's just train into the another one. Okay, now we'll talk about another section of the data. Mọi người có gì không hiểu về cái phần về measure of location hồi nãy không? Cái giá trị mean, mode và median value, mọi người có vấn đề gì không? Okay. Now let's change into the another one. Okay, let's call the measure of the variabilities. So we try to talk about the dispersion or the variability of the data when we go and generate for something like the RAND. For the interquartile RAND, you just have to measure and read the book. That's very simple. I would just say about RAND. Standard deviation, the coefficient variant will be the standard deviation divided for mean. You will have to measure it. Very simple. You just have to read not the book even, just let the slide, you can do it. So I will just talk about RAND, the standard deviation and the variant, something like that. Okay, and let's just do it very quick on the screen. Okay. Okay, now we have done already with the first part, and now this will be the third part. Actually, that will be the measures of variability, or you can say the dispersion. That means the các đại lượng đo lường về độ biến thiên của dữ liệu. Nghe chữ biến thiên, variability, variability, that means dispersion, or in Vietnam means biến thiên. Now, you will just never think about the difference in the data. But with the two data sets, like data set A and data set B, that we already give for the sample before, we will see the variability. I say with the example first. For example, I'm going to be like a logistic company. I'm an export company, and normally I would just from Vietnam. Okay, I'm a Vietnamese companies, and I would just export the thing into the USA. For example, I would ship, not ship, but like I would just try to export my, I don't know what normally, rice. Okay. Vietnamese rice into the USA, okay, and that requires a lot of time, and I had to put everything into the ship, right, and that had to travel to get across for the ocean. Sorry for my hand driving and I draw. I know it's a shock, but I try to get used to that. So I use two different. Normally I use for the logistic, logistic tức là công ty shipping, công ty vận tải. I use the logistic company A, and he say like, okay, yeah, just leave it to me, and I will just ship your rice container into the USA. But sometimes they're different in the day of deliveries. So someday I will just deliver it like about 8 days. Some could be 9 days. Some could be 8 days. Some could be like 10 days. Some could be like 11 days. Some could be like 9 days. Something like that. Okay. So normally I use the service of A. Okay, the A logistic. But recently I felt like, oh, I want to try to see another option. So I come and call for the B logistic. That's another the company that also provide the shipping and logistics service. And they say, oh, thank you for just calling, and we are welcome for you to use our service. The thing will be like we have the wire rent up there, the delivery day. So sometimes we make it very fast. Just 6 days, man. Just 6 days. That's all your rice will from Vietnam into the US. But however, sometimes it will be 8 days, sometimes it will be 9 days, sometimes it will be 11 days, sometimes it will be 13 days, and sometimes it will be 15 days. My question would be, for example, I have some kind of criteria. My US partner, the trading partner, they require all the shipping less than 14 days. Because that's rice, eh? Sometimes think about like I'm just export for other kind of fruits, and they don't want to wait a lot. I say like just 15 days, man. Just ship it to me in less than 14 days. Sorry, less than 14 days. What company you prefer? You want to stick with A or you want to try with B? Because they potentially provide shipper the faster shipping. Which one you prefer?
A.
Who is that? Giang, Linh, Ái, Linh, Ly. Okay, Ái Linh, I want to hear something from you.
I will choose the company A.
Why you want to choose A?
Because the range from the first day and I'm not thinking like they just take a day for the shipping, and
but sometimes they take it up to 11 days.
Yeah, but the latest is 11 days, and it just take 3 days for the distance between the time. So I choose the A company.
So you think like about like because that's all the day they require will be ran from like 8 days into
11 days.
11 days. Okay, you think like that's gonna be good for you. So like they're different like 3 days. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you choose the logistic B?
Logistics B it take like from 6 to 15, so it have to be like 8 days. So it's not, yeah, 9.
9 days different. So that's what you how you feel when you see the difference between the two data. How you feel it different?
I think if I choose the A, the shipping is more is faster than the B company.
You prefer to use the A more than B?
Yeah.
Okay, because they will be what? You feel like from your intuition, your feeling, what you call them? What the difference between A and B? I would say that's safer and more stable. I would say they are safer and more stable. Stabler, okay. But this one, they fluctuate too much. That means they vary too much. That means they disperse too much. And that will be your first feeling, your just first impression about how is the difference between the data. The data sometimes they spread very few. The difference between the smallest and the largest data will be just 3 like this one. But sometimes the data they spread a lot. The difference between the smallest and the largest will be up to 9 like this one. And that's the reason why we have to compare. And with the A and B, I would say like B is more fluctuated. More fluctuated. Varies, something like that. Okay, and that's what the people call the measure of variability. And we have some kinds of function about how to measure for the difference between the data. So like for the data A and for the data B, when the people call about how they are different, you can see like with this one, the data A, they are quite, I just give you a function. This be what the people last time you see in the second chapter. Remember about the university entrance grade. Remember cái điểm thi á, mấy đứa có nhớ cái bảng điểm thi không? And this is another one. Có hai cái bảng điểm thi. Bảng điểm thi thứ nhất, this one, the data around like 9 and something like this. This one around like 10, something like this. This is the difference between A and B, and I say like B more fluctuate than A. Okay, let's talk about that later. But we first of all come with this idea. So we have some kinds of like measure for the variability. Okay, for the variability, we have three functions. The first function will be what people call the range. The range, that means the difference between the maximum and the minimum. Another one will be the variance. Okay, function is quite hard, so you will never want to see it. And the standard deviation. Would be the difference, or would be just the square root of the variance. Okay, simple. First of all, like for range of the data A, okay, that's simple, right? To get the range, how it can we calculate? We get the maximum value will be 11, right? Hello? You got it? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I feel like I have a very bad connection in my internet. Okay, and minus 4, the smallest will be A. So that will be 3. Okay. And the variance, we will go and see it, and the standard deviation, how they mean, we will talk about that later. Now we will practice with that and see like how the two data, how they're different or not. Okay, so first of all, I will start sharing this one. And what I'm gonna do, stop sharing this. Okay, and for the variability, you can see it over here. Okay, man, the range. Okay, inter-quartile range, you have to take a look on that, what exactly they mean. The variance measures the variability of all the data. So the larger than this one, they have the larger variance compared to the smaller than this one. Okay, and this is a function of all the variance. They have the we use the function var.s for the variance calculation. Standard deviation, that could be the positive square root of the variance, but I will talk about that later. And this is the function of standard deviation. Okay, so let's do it now with the measures of variability. We will use the three functions. First of all, the range. Okay, because we don't have the range value, so in Excel we don't have the function called range or something. No, we don't have that one. Okay, so how can we do it? Easy. Measure for the maximum value and the minimum value. Okay, and maximum values of the first data set would be from B12 into B71. Okay, and it would be 15. That's the maximum price of all the range. Then the minimum price will be the mean from B2 into B71, 525. Okay, so now we can measure for the range. How will be the range? Range will be the difference between maximum and the minimum. So this means 190. That means the difference between the most expensive and cheapest apartment. A what? $190. Okay, let's do it and check it with the apartment number 2. Okay, the maximum values. I will say max. Okay, and from T2 into T71. Okay, that should be $20,000 as I already mentioned. Okay. Okay, the minimum value 2 into T71, that would be $200, and the rent difference between them two, that should be 19,800. So that's the difference between the two guys. The two guys, they really have a difference. Okay. The two guys, they really have a difference. So what can I say? I can say like, because the range of A is smaller than range of B. What can I say, man? What can I say? So I can say the data set A is more varied than data set B. Okay. Cái sự khác biệt giữa dataset A và dataset B, ngoại trừ những cái chuyện giá trị min chẳng hạn, khi bạn so sánh về sự biến động của dữ liệu của họ thì rõ ràng là dữ liệu của dataset A nó ít biến động hơn. Cái khoảng cách giữa giá trị min và giá trị max của nó rõ ràng là nó chênh lệch ít hơn so với lại là cái dataset B tới 19.800 đô. You got it? Okay. Another thing would be like variant. The variant will just let us know easily, like with this one, the variant for the two data. If they have the smaller variant, it will look like this. All the data will be just turned around for the mean value, and then they not just have too many in the very small and very big value. But however, for the one having kind of big variant, they will look like this one. They have a more and more data that's will be with the small value, and more and more data with the very big value. Okay, and we're going to check it with the function here, var, and we see. I will use the function var dot s. S will be sample here. Now later you will see in the later chapter, but s will be there. From B2 into B71. That's 2,996. And now you can also measure it and just compare it with the dataset B. var dot s from the T2 into T71. Oh man, that bit. So you can say the variant of A smaller than variant of B. Okay. So what does this mean? One more time. I can say the data A is more varies than the data set B. You got it? Okay. Lastly, the same thing, standard deviation. Standard deviation could be the square root of the variance. So of course that means this which one has the bigger variance will have the bigger standard deviation. But it's measured in the same units as the data, making it more easily to interpret than the variant. And later I will tell you about what exactly that means with the data. So the data mean, now I will just measure for the standard deviation. Okay, and I will use the function std EV, that will be the stand for standard deviation, and I will point for S for sample. Okay, and with this one, it's B2 into B71. That'd be 54.73. That means the data sets have the variability in standard deviation. Okay, and you can check it with the standard deviation in the data set B, and we see SDDEV.S. Okay. All right, and the function will be from like T2 into T71. Okay, and it's going to be 2000 something. So you can see easily answer one more time. You can say like standard deviation A is smaller than standard deviation B. And you can one more time say the data set A is more varied than data set B. Okay. Elas, sorry. Oh my God. Or you can say the data set B with the larger value will be more varied. Biến thiên nhiều hơn. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so got the point. You got the point here? You got the point here? Okay, so this just to measure and compare between the two data sets, which one had the bigger change in the data more than the another one. I know this is quite conceptual, but I will show you how and what exactly will be the meaning of the standard deviation. So if you go over here, and we have another part could be the measures of the solution. Anyway, like about the other thing, we will go and you have to check a look into the skewness and other kinds of stuff. I will not spend too much time. I will just talk about this one. This is the real meaning of the standard deviation, and this will not a lot of students will be can get this point. And even like với các thầy cô khác thì nhiều khi họ cũng không dạy mấy đứa là biết ý nghĩa thực sự của standard deviation nó ý nghĩa như thế nào với lại tất cả những cái ngành liên quan tới probability. So we call the empirical rules là luật thực tiễn, luật thực nghiệm, quy luật thực nghiệm. Let's go and check it. So in the chapter 6 we will go further with that. So but however the empirical rules mean from the mean values plot for one standard deviation, most like 68% of the data will belong to this area. If we increase from the mean values into two standard deviation, that will be just occupied for up to 95%. And lastly, if from the mean value, we increase the value for three standard deviation, that will include up to almost all the 99.72% of all the data. And if you have not understand about what exactly this means, I will show you now. Bây giờ thầy sẽ nói cái phần mà quy luật giá trị ý nghĩa thực sự của standard deviation in Vietnamese cho mấy đứa nghe ha. Để mấy đứa hiểu được bản chất của tất cả mọi chuyện vì sao phải học cái standard deviation and mean. Hôm bữa, ví dụ như thầy có một cái tập dữ liệu. Thầy nói cái đoạn này bằng tiếng Việt nha, để cho mấy đứa dễ hiểu. From the number of observation and the income. Okay, and is that too small? Okay, that's bigger. From the first guy into 1,000 of the people in Da Nang. Okay, Da Nang. Okay, and the income of the first guy, they say they 10,000, they are 9.5. For second guy, something like 11, something like about 20,000. Okay, and from this data, I can collect all the data and I can say like, oh yeah, that's good, and I can measure it all. First of all, the mean value. The mean value, sometimes they will say It's just mu. Okay, that's going to be stand for mean value. And I say 10 million Việt Nam đồng. Okay. Giả sử là thu nhập trung bình của 1.000 người này thì thầy thấy nó là được là giá là 10 triệu đồng một người. The second measure, this one, what we say, standard deviation, STD, and sometimes people say it could be S, equal to 1 million Việt Nam đồng. What is mean? Bây giờ thầy sẽ cho mấy đứa thấy lý do thì vì sao. Cái luật thực nghiệm lúc nãy gọi là Empirical Rules. Nó như sau. Mọi người còn nhớ all the data, nếu mình collect lại giống như hôm bữa mà mình nhớ mà cái giá trị mà từ điểm 1 tới điểm 10 rồi có những giá trị 0.2, 0.4, cái mà gọi là what the people say, the histogram, nhớ không? Mọi người có nhớ không? Mọi người có nhớ tất cả cái gọi là cái histogram này không?
Dạ có.
Ok. Thế thì cái histogram này là nó cho mình một cái hình dung về chuyện cái data nó distributed, ok? Via everything. Nếu như mình không vẽ histogram theo kiểu này, mình có một cách khác mình vẽ, đó là mình vẽ bằng đi cách nối những cái đỉnh này. And we have a curve something like this one. Ok. Nếu mà thầy vẽ đẹp hơn một xíu, of everything, thì nó sẽ có hình dạng như vậy. Nếu thầy có đủ data nha, hình dạng của nó sẽ là như vậy. Nó được gọi là một bell curve. Một bell curve đó là một cái hình vẽ có dạng hình chung. Cái này mean là gì? Giá trị mean nó sẽ đây. Bằng 10 triệu đồng. Này nghĩa là sao mọi người? Rất ít người mà có làm ra được số tiền nhiều hơn mức rất là cao, và cũng có rất ít người làm được số tiền rất là ít. Phần lớn mọi người họ sẽ ở trong mấy cái vùng dữ liệu mà họ có cái giá trị là ở trung bình, đúng không? Mọi người hiểu ý của cái hình vẽ này không? Đây là một khái niệm rất quan trọng để chúng ta chuẩn bị bước tới tiếp theo. Rồi, ok, fine nha. Mean value nó kiểu như vậy, nó sẽ trình bày tất cả mọi thứ ở đây. Vậy cái quy luật thực nghiệm nó nghĩa là gì? Nếu chúng ta biết được mean value và chúng ta biết được standard deviation, thì từ mean mình cộng cho một standard deviation và mình trừ cho một standard deviation. Nghe từ mean mình chạy ra một cái STD. Từ mean đó mình cộng thêm một cái S, và từ đây từ mean mình cộng cho một cái gọi là sigma cũng được, S cũng được, sigma mình trừ bớt cho một sigma, và từ đây mình tiến thêm một sigma. So 68% of the data will belong to this area. Điều này nghĩa là sao thì nói trong tiếng Việt. Giá trị mean cộng thêm một standard deviation là bằng mấy mấy đứa?
Dạ 11.
Rồi mình trừ cho một standard deviation là mấy?
Dạ 9.
Rồi 9. Mình biết phần lớn mọi người sẽ có thu nhập quanh mức độ trung bình, đúng không? Và ít người rất cao và ít người rất thấp. Đó là một cái quy luật trên thực tế. Và như vậy dựa trên cái dữ liệu này, theo cái luật thực nghiệm thì 68% dữ liệu nó sẽ nằm trong cái vùng cộng trừ 1 độ lệch chuẩn từ giá trị trung bình đi ra. Vậy nghĩa này nghĩa là sao mấy đứa? 68% of the Đà Nẵng what? Population earn from 9 million to 11 million. Mọi người hiểu không? Cái nghĩa là nếu sau này people of Đà Nẵng về thực tế cần bao nhiêu người mấy đứa? Về thực tế Đà Nẵng có bao nhiêu dân?
Gần 2 triệu.
Cả triệu mấy, có cho triệu. Cho triệu mấy, nhưng mà cho triệu dân đi. Tính gốc đi, cho triệu dân. Thay vì thế thì chỉ cần có 1.000 người thôi, thầy suy ra được một xác suất là đâu đó khoảng 68% dân Đà Nẵng, và thầy tính được giá trị trung bình này, và thầy tính được standard deviation này, mean và standard deviation. Thì thầy sẽ biết ra từ đây, thầy tính ra được lõi từ tiến ra một độ lệch chuẩn, một standard deviation, và lùi ra một standard deviation. Thầy biết 68% dân số của Đà Nẵng có thu nhập từ 9 million to 11 million. Get the point? Another thing, nếu như thầy tiến ra 2 độ lệch chuẩn, thầy tiến ra 2 cái standard deviation thay vì chỉ một. Ok, thì giá trị lúc bây giờ có thể là mấy? Với mean là 10 và standard deviation là 1 thì tiến ra thành mấy?
8 tới 12.
Rồi 8 tới 12. Thì khi đó toàn bộ dữ liệu của thầy nằm trong vùng từ 8 tới 12. Thì theo ước lượng của phép tính này nó sẽ là khoảng 95%. 95.44%, chính xác là. Như vậy có nghĩa thầy có thể nói câu thứ hai là gì? 95% of the Đà Nẵng people earn from A to 12 million Việt Nam đồng. Yeah. And lastly, nếu thầy tiến ra tới mức độ thêm một cái nữa, một sigma nữa, thành là 13 and 7, this will be plus 4, 3 sigma and minus for 3 sigma. Okay. So all the data belong into this group. Now let's cover up to 99.72% of the data. So I can say 99.72. You can say almost. Đà Nẵng people earn from 7 to 13 million Việt Nam đồng. Và đây là cái lý thuyết cơ bản nhất của tất cả mọi thứ về ý nghĩa của mean and standard deviation. Dựa trên giá trị mean và standard deviation từ một tập dữ liệu rất nhỏ, mình có thể suy ngược ra tập dữ liệu rất to của 1.000 người Đà Nẵng, 1 triệu người Đà Nẵng. Thì thu nhập của họ cũng chỉ cần nằm như vậy thôi. Save a lot of time. Ok chưa? Anyone have problem? Rồi ấy. Thường thì bình thường cái phần này mọi người sẽ không được học ở trong phần này. Các thầy cô họ sẽ không dạy cái nội dung này vì cũng ít người hiểu được sâu cái này. Thường thì là chỉ có mấy dân về finance, dân economic thì họ mới hiểu được cái bản chất của standard deviation để kiểu này. Okay, and the last one, just like 5 more minutes, that's all. Okay, 5 more minutes, and I will show you how to do it all, everything on just like one click. Because all the thing I mentioned about how to measure on the mean value, the most value, they had the function, okay? They had the algorithm behind that, they had the equation behind that. And that takes a lot of time for you to measure it all manually, even when you use it on Excel. But however, on Excel, you can save a lot of time to do it with just one click. Okay, now I show you how. In the home bottom, in the other option in the bottom, the ribbon will be start with the data ribbon. Can you see the data ribbon? Okay. Now you can see in the kind of very like the right top, you can see the data analysis. I'm pretty sure that your computer do not have it because you have not installed it. Thầy nói cái này, cái data analysis là một công cụ cực kỳ mạnh và chúng ta sẽ học nó, sử dụng công cụ này từ đây cho đến khi mà chúng ta học hết cái kỳ này luôn. Thế thì data analysis bình thường sẽ không được cài trên Excel của các bạn vì các bạn chưa bung nó ra, chưa install nó. How to install it? Simple. Nếu đứa nào đang xài Excel, có đứa nào đang xài không?
Dạ có thầy.
Mà có thấy có này không?
Dạ không ạ.
Rồi sao có để thầy bài. Nếu data, cái tab data ribbon của bạn mà không có cái này thì làm sao làm? Vào trong cái phần file, okay? Go into option. Go into add-in. Okay? And then we have the Excel add-in. You plug in, go. What it look like will be like this one. Nếu như mà bây giờ thì cỡ bạn cầm máy của mấy bạn sẽ không có cái gì hết, không có cái tick nào hết. Then nothing here, okay. And that's the reason why you have not get the data analysis ribbon here. So click on data analysis toolbar này, analysis toolbar VBA and solver add-in. Euro currency tool they more about like international trading, so you don't have to install it. That's sharp and that's also very kind of heavy, so it slow down your computer, so don't do it. Just click on the three boxes I recommend, okay, and you click on OK. Ở máy của thầy thì thầy có rồi nên thầy không cần phải bấm OK, nhưng mà các bạn thì các bạn bấm OK một cái thì khi đó nó sẽ tốn khoảng 1 phút để nó chạy, đâu đó khoảng 1 phút để nó chạy, để nó nạp cái data analysis này. Và bây giờ bạn bấm về lại home and bấm vào data thì data analysis nó sẽ hiện ở đây. Okay, now I do it. How can I measure all the things just one single button? Okay, now data analysis, and you click on the descriptive statistic. That's what we are doing. Descriptive statistic, you see it here. Okay, and see OK. And now input rent. I will click on the rental cost until the P71. And I put label in the first round so they will be understand that the first round not data, it's just the label. And I want to put all the output rent into in this section, this one, okay. I want this word over here, okay, fine. And I put in, remember, click on the summarize statistic. Later we use other option, but now just summarize statistic. You say okay. And it all here. You have the mean value 590.8 is here. Okay. You have the median value 575 is here. Mode value is here. Standard deviation here. Right. Variant here. Q sources and skewness, we'll talk about that later. But grand, even when in the measure of variability, we had to measure it manually by mass, then subtract from mean. But here they just automatically generate for you. Maximum and minimum, and even for the count of total number of observations. Everything is here. So that's the reason why I say like everything can be saved in just like one click, single click at bottom. So when you go in and do it for this very first chapter, the very first homework assignment, so do it by this way. It can save a lot of time for you, okay? And another, like one more time I do it with this one and you can see it like how can demonstrate one more time on this one. One more time I do it data and data analysis and descriptive statistic. Now the data should be clean like this way. One more time I do it. Rental cost up there, data set B, okay? And I say level the first round, I want to summarize statistic and I want to output rent over here, okay? I say okay. And here the data come in. One more time, all the mean value, standard like median, most, standard deviation and variance, and also the rent, minimum, maximum days available here. Okay, so like all the things available, and that would be the other thing I want to do with today. Today we already learned about the measure of location and variability, the true meaning of standard deviation. What could be the percentage of 68%, 95%, 99%, the rental cost, how we can do it, measure it on the data analysis bottom of the Excel. Okay. And the question for today's section. Yeah.
Curious about language, so I don't know why they call mean and mode. Can you explain?
No, they actually just you asking about in terms of the terminologies, and they just a kind of terminology all the time when I mean like mole and mode. I'm pretty sure that there's some kind of Latino, the mean. Okay, for example, mean stand for. So I'm pretty sure that the mean value or the average. Okay, the mean or average. So I'm have remember that they talk about that very long ago, and they are. If you go over here, I'm pretty sure that you can see it like very long ago. They just derived from the Latino language. The Latino language, because of the mean or the value we had, the mean or median, they back into the time of the Pythagorean, kind of like the Greeks and the Romans for the Rome, like human civilization. So it's back to that time. They call it mean. They call it like median. They call it like standard, like variant. They should be something belong to the Greek. Thầy muốn nói rằng là tất cả những cái ngôn ngữ này thường nó đã được lấy từ rất là lâu rồi. Những cái giá trị ví dụ như là most hoặc median này, quartile thì nó là những cái chữ mà có thể đổi lại từ tiếng Anh ra. Nhưng mà chữ median, chữ most hoặc là chữ trong tiếng Pháp chẳng hạn, hoặc là các tiếng Greek người ta sẽ là chữ most. Thì những cái giá trị này thường chữ variant hoặc chẳng là chữ deviation này nó thường derive từ các ngôn ngữ như là Greek hoặc là ngôn ngữ Latino cũ như là ngôn ngữ của người Ý. Thì nó chỉ là như vậy thôi, nó chỉ là terminology chứ nó không cần thiết là mình phải hiểu quá xa về ngôn ngữ. Mình chỉ biết, nhưng mà thầy Nguyên khuyên nhớ là các bạn nên nhớ luôn các chữ này, median hoặc chữ average chẳng hạn. Nhưng chữ mode thì cái function của mình sẽ luôn là chữ most như thế này, median đấy, đúng không? Chữ function của nó cũng vẫn chỉ là chữ function của chữ median. It's okay. Any other question? Any other question? Rồi. If no, it's fine. So like this will be the end of the today's session, and there's still other kinds of like small box we have to deal with. You guys will be the one who have to go home and take a look into the real meaning of everything. So they too detailed, so I cannot just tell you all in just one single class. But it's very simple, so I'm pretty sure that when you do it, and even you have it in the quiz, you can easily do it by yourself. Okay. Remember, trong cái bài quiz của chúng ta đó, trong bài quiz của chúng ta trong ngày hôm nay này, chúng ta sẽ có bài quiz số 4, bài quiz số 4 hoặc bài quiz số 5 chẳng hạn. Thì bài quiz số, bài quiz số 3 này chẳng hạn. Thì trong bài quiz số 3 này nó sẽ có rất nhiều câu nó liên quan đến tính toán, và các tính toán này đều có thể dễ dàng xử lý được bằng Excel. I give you an example. Đừng có dạy chi mà làm tay tính này. Câu 1. Just I'm not really so scared about showing you the answer. Okay. Okay, cái này dễ rồi này, cái này tự coi nha. Okay, for example this one. Ví dụ các bạn gặp câu hỏi như vậy, bạn làm sao giải? Thì cái cách đơn giản nhất là hắn hỏi về ví dụ closing stock of the MMM corporate blah 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 last 7 trading days or below. This is from day 1 into day 7 and the stock price, and they ask about the mean. How we do it? Just copy it all. Then paste it into Excel. You don't have to do it manually, man. Just use the function average and score it. Okay. 78. Okay. You got it? I will just give you like one very favorite